we are back for another day, another episode. So last night, very late at night, managed to get most of the motor together, as you can see. So I've got our sump buttoned up. I already tightened that this morning, and I've just started, I put the oil temp sender in the sump, and I've just started just sort of masking up any little orifices, whatever the plural of orifice is, of this motor, because I do plan on painting it, and also just to keep any contaminants out. Now that we're starting to actually seal the motor up, I want to keep any nasties out of it. So yeah, the sump came up good, front and rear seals are on, brand new, all happy. There's our RB25 oil pump with its billet gears and everything in it. It's happy too, ready to go. So yeah, now we're moving on to getting the head on. So I did last night, I don't think I actually filmed it, but I did chuck my missing lifter in and just put these, the rockers and everything on the rails. These still haven't been tensioned. They still need to be tightened up properly. I've only just done them down. But yeah, head's ready to go. It's obviously been cleaned up heaps. It's right to go from now. So yeah, we're ready to get back into it today. And yeah, hopefully this afternoon we'll be looking at painting this motor. And yeah, I haven't really thought much further than that, you know, one step at a time. I am running out of time on this, so gonna have to really keep things moving. Went into town this morning and bought some new just GP thinners, because we were out yesterday. I used the last bit to clean the gun out after I painted all of the engine accessories black. So when the old man gets up here, he'll have a bit of a play with these doors and he'll keep going with the panel work while I endeavour to get the mechanicals done. So yeah, yeah, there's still, every time I look at it, there's still more work to do, because this is the new, that's the new big ass tile gate that I got off Adam the Creature. And I'm happy that it came with all of its V-band fittings and stuff like that, so I don't have to buy any, but I am going to have to modify this this setup here. So I'll get rid of this old heat wrap. I'll cut that flange off and have to fab a new V-band clamp onto there, V-band flange, I should say. And but yeah, even before I do that, once I get the motor together and the motor painted, I actually have to dummy up the engine loom on it, and I'm gonna have to split the whole loom and start changing things around. There's a few things I want to do with that I will probably go through when we're sort of doing it. Yeah, it's just there's a fair bit of work in that. It's just cleaning some stuff up. Some sensors have moved now that I hadn't incorporated before. With the forward facing, the throttle body's now in a different position. Yeah, there's stuff's just changing. I've relocated the coil again, so I need to fix that too. But anyway, one step at a time. First things first, we'll just look at trying to get the motor together and in one piece. And yeah, I'm keen actually to see it painted up, just so I can sit that nice rocker cover on the head, and it will be really nice. So these balls all came up pretty good. Front and rears are sweet. There's a couple of watermarks. It's nothing, I already gave them another hone last night. There's a couple of watermarks in it. It's nothing that's really going to affect it too much. Ring seal should still be fine. And yeah, this motor should be very happy, even at the sort of power that we're looking to make out of it. Also, yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but yeah, we've got our new, it's buried under here, but in that box there is our new Kinetic head gasket. And this here is a box of ARP head studs. So it's going to be a pretty solid little unit and should stay together just fine. quickly interrupt to show where we're up to. So this is our ARP head studs installed, and this is our Cometic MLS head gasket. And just thought I'd pull it up because I reckon that it just looks tough as shit. I don't know, might be a little bit like engine builder nerdy, but yeah, I love seeing stuff like that when you know that that's not standard, and you sort of know that, yeah, we're aiming for something here, and we want to make some horsepower out of this thing. I love it. Okay, so that's a fair bit of the motor sorted out. I just sat these covers on here. I just sat the rocker cover and was having a bit of a look around just to decide whether I wanted to paint these black or white. I was worried that it might be too much black, but I think it'll be fine. It's only at the front of the motor anyway. So yeah, I'll end up just painting them black. So let's chuck them back up here. But yeah, so timing's all sorted out. Just seen that in the time lapse, so just load it up on the spring, turn it over a few times, make sure nothing's hitting, and just make sure that the tension's pulled down that side, and then just lock it up right where it is. So heads on. The only last thing I have to do, I just have to chuck these 3 little bolts in the back corners of the heads, but other than that, it's all locked down and good to go. That head is certainly not going anywhere with those ARP studs done up. Very, very tight. So with the MLS gasket and those head studs, this head's not going anywhere. Should be right to make plenty of power. Keep a lot of that cylinder pressure up in there. So just gonna chill out for a minute, just have a bit of a break, and yeah, I'll look at what I've got to do next for basically to get this thing ready for paint. One thing I did notice when I went to sit my rocket cover on is that this stud right here actually hits a boss that's inside the rocket cover, so it doesn't actually sit down properly. It's not a big deal, just means I have to just grind that out just to make sure that it sits down there nice and flat and works properly. But yeah, should be all good. So it's not a good day for painting, but I can't afford to wait or can't afford any hold up, so we're just gonna keep on trucking. So I'll get into that soon. I'll end up painting the intake as well, the bottom half of the intake. Obviously the APG top half plenum is still in beautiful natural alley, I'm not worried about that. But this bottom half's just got just some sort of few stains and stuff on it. Like I don't know, I'd like to clean it up a bit. It's more the front of it, because that's what you're actually going to see. I'll have a think on it. My concern is if I paint it silver, that with the APG one on top being the natural aluminium, it's going to, you'll see like a direct contrast between the two. And I really don't want to paint the APG one. I guess worst case is I just paint them both so they're the same color. It's not really going to make much difference. I think it'll look better with them both clean and both the same color, more than having a fresh APG one and you can very obviously see that one's been painted and the other hasn't. Hey guys, apologise for being slack with the filming. I had some mates drop in earlier just for a quick chat and a catch up and stuff like that, and so that pulled me behind a bit. I just got stuck into sorting this thing out, so I spent a lot of time, got obviously distributor in and timing covers, got it all dressed up. Spent a lot of time masking everything up. I did miss the first coat, so I was sort of getting everything here, one good coat, and the motor, I've just flipped it the right way up. I did everything underneath first. So when I paint a motor like that, normally start with it upside down and basically paint, spray down. So it's anything that you're gonna see from sort of underneath. Not that anyone's ever really looking at it, but it just means you don't accidentally get any anything you might miss spraying down from above or straight across, that when it's in the car, I don't know, like you might miss an edge or something like that you can see. So I like to get it from above when it's upside down so that you've got all of your edges and obviously the sump. So I flipped it up the right way now. I'm just gonna let that, give that paint just a little bit of time to dry, and from there we'll be doing our actual spray coat. Alright guys, it's a bit later at night now. I didn't really film too much. I was just sort of, same as usual, just trying to get things done. Had dinner, had a break, trying to get sorted out now. So at the moment, I'm up to this stage where I'm trying, because it is raining, you can't tell because, door shut, everything is shut. But it is raining outside and the temperature's dropped off a lot today. It was a really miserable, overcast, rainy day. Like terrible conditions for painting. So at the moment I've painted all these components, but this enamel's taking a while to go off, so I'm literally cooking it. So I've got everything we have that produces heat pointed directly at these heaps of junk to try and just bake it a bit. At the very least, we want to try and keep the temperature up so that the paint actually goes off properly, and because you can, if it's cold, I managed to avoid it. It normally happens straight away if it blooms. You get a cold breeze or something like that. The paint, it's meant to be gloss black. It goes like a really dull, gets a dull shine on it, almost a blue color. It's called blooming, and that's what you get in like cold or windy conditions, which is why I painted it with all of the doors shut to try and avoid that. Luckily it worked, even though the temperature is cold. Problem is, it's just taking forever for the paint to go off. So I've got the motor back over here. It's all looking pretty sweet. I'm happy with how it's come up. It was just unmasked, like the intake, exhaust, things that don't lead into the oil system. Say that oil feed and oil drain, I've left them masked up just because I'd like to keep anything out of there until we actually plug the lines on that go there. It's always good to keep those plugged up and that nothing's gotten into the oiling system. So yeah, the rest of tonight, I didn't get as far as along as I had wanted to tonight. Just mostly due to the weather. It's just holding things up. You may notice too, because I had to spray that in the shed, I did cover the car up with plastic because I don't want any overspray on that. I did run the gun at pretty low pressure, so there was a very minimal overspray, but with a really nice paint job like that, it's brand new, I just don't want to take any risks. It's just easier to cover it up. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be the rest of my night, is just babysitting components. The intake, I haven't actually painted yet. What I'm trying to do is to cook some heat into it so that when I do paint it, it's already got some heat in it. It's going to help the paint go off, it's going to help it stick, and hopefully the intake will come up pretty nice. But yeah, I'm not going to bother filming it. It's probably almost as boring to watch as it is to do. At least if you're watching it, you can skip through it. I can't, so I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to sign off the video for today right here, and we'll get stuck into it tomorrow. I'm really hoping tomorrow I can make some more solid progress. I can't even start the loom tonight because I can't get the intake on. I can't get anything on the motor. The paint on the motor is still tacky. It's not dry yet, so I'm stuck for tonight. There's nothing else I can do for that. I can't speed it up any more than I already am, so it is what it is. It's very annoying when you're on a schedule like this, when you're trying to speed things up. I'd rather let this stuff dry properly and then go muck around with it, because otherwise you end up with like fingerprints in it, you get scratches, like things. It's just not ideal. But I'll make do the best I can with what I got, and yeah. So I'm gonna sign off for now. Smash like, smash subscribe. All right, I know I signed off the other video, but I ended up doing like a lot more work. I got some more heaters. Got the stuff down. Just cooking the shit out of this stuff. I don't know if you can hear it. It's still raining. It's actually a really nice sound. I'm glad for it. Just bad timing. But I just wanted to show you guys, because I put this together and it's sort of blowing my mind a bit. But yeah, I'll show you this motor. I sort of chucked together. It's not permanent. I just put it together, the motor, the intake and stuff like that, just to see what it looked like. And just want to show you guys right now because I'm kind of buzzed on it. And this is it. So this is our RB30. Just a dirty old 30 to go in a dirty old 31. But I'm hoping that the camera actually conveys it, because I'm stoked on this right now. It looks so sick. It looks so tough. Like, imagine that motor when it goes in that engine bay with the forward facing and obviously the hot side, the turbo and everything hanging off this side. I've gone so much effort with the detailing on this thing. Like even these rocket cover screws, I used them in the dummy rocket cover when I painted it to make sure that they were black. The screws, bolts. Technically, I think they're set screws. Technically, the set screws / bolts that go in here, I've also painted them black. They're over there cooking right now. And like, I've painted the intake silver. I've decided I'm not going to paint this. I'm happy enough with the contrast that I do not want to paint all of Mick's good work. I want to leave that raw because it's immaculate work. It's so nice. I don't want to paint it. So I'm happy enough with the contrast and the silver and the alloy. I'm just going to leave it. I'd rather do that. I think I might just end up coating the top half of this plenum just with some clear. I do have some clear coat there, just to stop any corrosion from getting to it and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm happy with the color, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, this thing just looks absolutely mental. Like, there's no words for it. I just love it. And it's the vision that I had in my head at the start of how I wanted this engine bay to look. It's all coming together, and I'm so happy. But more to keep to the point is that yeah, like every single nut and bolt and screw in this engine bay is going to be detailed. Everything is either polished or painted. Like, I've gone so far with this, and it's so much time. It's taken me all day basically to put the head on this thing and then just detail it. I haven't even got it to a point where I can put the loom on and dummy up the loom and start the loom. Nothing like that. I haven't even got that far. That's how just ridiculous this is. Like, I've taken every single thing I find, I start painting, and then I'll think of another thing I have to paint, and another thing that I've forgotten, and just, it snowballs. It's so out of hand. Like, the strut top nuts, I hand brushed inside the strut towers to make sure that they were black too. All of these nuts and bolts, everything on it, engine mounts, like, it's just ludicrous how far I'm going with this, dirty old 31. But I could not be happy with the results. It is exactly how I wanted it to look right now. How you see it is just, I can see it with the hot side and everything over here. I know what it's going to look like, and it is going to be absolutely mint. So yeah, now I will officially sign off this video with smash like, smash subscribe, and yeah, let us know what you reckon. But yeah, I'm stoked with it. I don't think anyone's going to complain. If you do complain, I'd like to know why. Leave that in the comments. Cheers.